Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 5, Episode 29. It has been another month of puzzles, which means we are back in the territory of bonus puzzles, which are somewhat more difficult versions of puzzle types that we have seen in this volume. And we're kicking that series off right now with a square jam. So you can go back earlier in the volume to watch my intro to the concept of that puzzle type and give that a practice before getting into the bigger boy here. Or you can just hang around with us as we take a look at the rules. In a square jam puzzle, we will divide the grid into square regions of orthogonally connected cells. The orthogonally connected part is a little bit redundant when we're just saying we're dividing something into square regions. A number indicates the side length of the square it's in. So this 2 means it's inside a 2x2 square. These 3s are both inside a 3x3 square, and there are many squares with no numbers in them whatsoever. So that's reinforcing that this isn't one of those puzzles where a clue corresponds exactly to one region. We can have regions with multiple clues or with no clues. And region borders may not form any four-way intersections. So as soon as we have any of these points in the grid that have 3 edges touching them, they will not have a 4th edge. Those are all of the rules of Square Jam, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's square jam was set by Shye. We have a couple 1s in the grid that we can mark in to begin with. Okay, now we have to start thinking. Now, what do the numbers on the edges tell us? They tell us at least the depth into the grid that square will go. We don't know how those fit in the other direction just from that clue, but we can pencil mark those in right away to get us going. And I think I see where we're going to go next. This 3 appears to only have one possible configuration. So I can draw that one in immediately. That gives me a little cul-de-sac here, and one thing we've learned about square jam is that when we've got that type of configuration, it can't grow to be a square of any larger size. So that is going to be a 1, and we can't have any 4-way intersections. So this is not a wall, which gives me a square size of at least 2, and in fact that's all that can fit there. So this is going to be a 2x2, making this not a wall, and that fits very well with this existing 2 to tell me that there's a 2x2 right here. Cul-de-sac makes a 1, and again makes a 1. This 2x2 is already defined, but that just helps solidify that it's this 2x2, and this is also another 2x2 right there, and no wall here, and that's just kind of flowed nicely. The 2 is now against a wall here, so it goes east 1 and then stops, forcing this to be a 1x1, which also forces this to be a 1x1, and gives me avoid 4 corners right there, to give me another 2x2, and avoid 4 corners right here and right here. That combined with this 2 clue tells me that there is a 2x2 right there, which reinforces something I think we could have deduced otherwise, but becomes even clearer that this 3 and this 3 are connected into the same 3x3 square that goes out like that. This now can't be any larger than 2 because that's as far north and south as it can go. So that is a 2x2. This still could be a 3x3 or a 2x2. So leave that alone for a moment. We've made pretty good progress just kind of following that chain around And now I think we need to consider the bottom part of the grid. So I said before that we could have deduced that these threes were together without that. I think we need to do that down here because this 3, we know it goes 3 up. It can go at most 1 to the east because it'd be blocked by this wall. So we know it goes over here. So these two could connect into one 3x3. Or this could go west and join up with this 3. One of those two is going to happen, and I think we can prove it. It's a little trickier than what we've seen so far. Okay, this 3, how far west can it extend, I think is the question. If it went as far as it could, 1, 2, if it went all the way over, it wouldn't be able to stretch north to make a 3x3 because of this 2 in the way. If it went 1 to the west, that's still the case. This 2 still gets in the way. So this is actually walled on the west side and must go completely east, joining up with this 3. So this is the 3x3 square. And then that forces this 3 to be shifted to the right, and we get a 3x3 over there. Cul-de-sac gives us a 1x1. We can't have a 4-way intersection, so this is going to become a 2x2. No 4-way intersection combined with the 2 clue gives us a 2x2 right here. And we need to split this domino up into 2 1x1s. No 4-way intersection, no 4-way intersection. So that did a lot of work. Let's go around. I think we only have 2 clues left. This clue must extend the full width here of 2. So it could go up to form a 2x2 here or 1 here. One of those is going to be a problem. Which one is it going to be? Not clear to me. We've got some, I think this is probably good to pencil mark in. These places where we have had to say no wall because of avoiding a 2x2, because this has to be part of a square, we can extend it to say it's at least this big. And we can do that with this and with that. That helps, I think, because this has to be a 2x2, because if it were to grow at all, it would merge in with this, become a 4x4, but then that would encompass a 3 clue, which would be illegal. So it is just a 2x2. We can block that off. This 3, where can that go? Let's consider the options. Suppose it were on the south end of a 3x3. We've got this 3x3, which is broken because this bit is chopped out of it. This 3x3 and this 3x3 both partially overlap this area without completely overlapping it, which means that those aren't going to work. So this is not the southernmost part of a 3x3, which means that the region it's in must extend south at least 1. And as soon as it does that, it merges with this existing area, which gives us our 3 of height. It gives us a right boundary. And so we have our 3x3 square right there. And as soon as we have that, he says with anticipation, what does that mean? Not as immediate stuff as I thought, but I see how to proceed. It's a little bit more convoluted, so it might not be what's intended, but I'm gonna just go with it anyway. Supposing that this was a 1x1, I think that breaks because that forces this, because of the cul-de-sac. This is also a cul-de-sac, and that gives us a 4-way intersection. So this is not a 1x1. It's at least a 2x2, and as soon as it is at least a 2x2, it hits this wall, so it is a 2x2. That forces this to be a 2 by 2. Cul-de-sacs in both of these cases, and we're left with a region that we cannot divide any further without causing a four-way intersection. We could prove that a couple ways. The easiest is we can't have a four-way intersection right here, and we can't have one right there, and that this is obviously now a 2 by 2. So it's just this corner to deal with. Which of these things is going to be a problem? I think it's going to end up being the case that this 2 by 2 goes north. But no, actually, that's the one I can disprove. Okay, good. So if this 2 by 2 were to go north, we would end up with that corner. And as soon as we have that, we have two cul-de-sacs we would need to fill in, giving us a four-way intersection. So this 2 by 2 does not travel north, it travels south, and I'm sure that's going to do the rest of the puzzle for us. We have a domino we need to split up. And finally, we have a cul-de-sac, and as soon as we put this border in there, that is it. And that is how you solve a square jam.